I'm being transparent with what I want. I'm not like lying. I'm not ready to commit to one person yet. So that's fine. And then after that, he said, well, I'll just give you your present then now. And I'm like, present? What do you mean? He said, I got you a birthday present. So he transferred the tickets over to my name. And then he emailed me and he said, I just emailed you your birthday present. So I opened it and I was like, what?
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good and the bad. And Lilly,
Marcus.
The small town rural sugar babies.
the oh so shocking stories of sugar dating.
The shocking small town sugar babies.
Small town sugar babies.
Well, yeah.
Me.
Oh, we haven't got to you yet.
our
Hold your
guest.
horses. I have a guest today. She already's piped in, but I've got to do my stuff.
Oh, well, I'm a small town sugar baby, and Katy is a small town sugar baby. So
Will you even let me get to my stuff? I have like a routine, and you're bypassing everything.
that's what you get, sir, because you're in trouble.
And I have got a wild one on the leash today.
I've gone rogue.
We got to clean up some stuff. We got to talk about our party real quick. It's coming up. In less than 2 months, we're going to be picking winners. And we actually may pick a few early. So get your entry in. Go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. And you're going to want to come to this party. And we are getting things lined up, and it's going to be fun. And it's a weekend, so we'll put you up in housing for Friday and Saturday. And it's the day after Thanksgiving, that weekend. And you're going to come party with us in a private suite to see Pitbull, Enrique Iglesias, and Ricky Martin. Which one's your favorite?
I don't know. I'd say probably Ricky Martin.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm not very familiar with Pitbull.
Oh, he's collaborated on so many songs that,
What would I know of his?
oh my gosh. Katy, we're just going to bring you in on this.
He's Mr. Worldwide.
He's Mr. Worldwide.
Oh.
He's got a
Yeah.
bald head and he wears sunglasses and
Yeah.
it's always just
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Okay.
you would know.
I do
You
know
would
Mr. Worldwide. Okay.
Yeah.
Then yes, I'm equally excited for all three.
All right, so get your entries in. Let's just put it this way. If you get your entry in now, you have a really good chance of winning. Okay? We've got a lot of good entries, but we still have room left, all right? So it's just a little survey, a few survey questions, and it's 4 pictures and a video of why we should choose you. And we want to hear what your favorite episode is. And if you haven't listened to very many, just fake it. Okay? Just fake it. Tell
Fake
me
it
one.
till you make it.
Right? Tell me a fun episode, because we talked about our favorite episodes a couple podcasts ago, and it was good. As a matter of fact, I was listening to a lot of ours the other day, and there's just so many now that I forget about some of them, and there's a lot of really good. We have, I sent you a message today from a lady who just found our podcast, and she just binge listened to it while she was traveling, 1 through 105, which is pretty cool.
That's some commitment right
I know,
there.
because they're all about an hour each. So, I mean, how long is it going to take you to binge?
It's going to take a hot minute.
Yeah. But we love it when
Unless
people...
you increase the speed. Sorry,
Yeah,
am I not supposed to talk?
No, you can talk.
You know, Katy,
that out.
I have not introduced you yet. Hold your horses.
I love it.
And you being from small town, you know about that phrase, hold your horses.
Katie's my
Yes.
spirit animal.
Yeah.
I feel like we're kindred spirits.
I know.
I
All right.
think so too. Yeah. We were going to do the show without you, actually.
I know.
Marcus,
Okay.
so-
I have one other person I need to thank, and that's the studios of Pod Populi. Katy can see that our studios are very plush and nice. Lilly and I are curled up in some nice chairs. We've
Some,
got,
upholstered saucer
I
chairs.
know. This is nice. This is fairly new. So this is the Scottsdale location. They got locations opening up nationwide. And if you're thinking about starting a podcast and you think this sounds like fun and you have something to talk about, go to their website and see if they have a studio near you. And if they don't, our good friend Brian Howie is waiting for your email to tell him where to open up new studios.
Good old Brian Howie.
Actually, he didn't tell me that, but I know he is.
Brian Howie is never here.
He's opening up studios all over the U.S. Where's he supposed to be?
He's uber busy.
Yeah, he's super busy. So anyway, We want to thank Pod Populi for providing this for us. All right, let's just get to our guest. Katy, how are you?
Good. I'm sorry. I can't keep my mouth shut.
Well, we want to hear from you. We've got a lot of things to talk about.
Yes.
You've got your spirit animal here with us, and Lilly.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Hi.
Oh, you guys. So you are from a small midwestern town.
I am. Yes.
And-
That's why, when she said Midwest sugar dating, I had to speak up.
And you are fairly new to this.
Very new. Opened my Seeking account 3 months ago.
Okay.
Although I didn't open it myself, but we'll get to that.
You had some help.
Yes.
So you and I are friends on social media with our Secrets of a Sugar Daddy account, and I get to see some of your family dealings. Now, you're divorced?
Times two.
Yeah. Oh, times
Yeah.
two. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Yep. 3 kiddos. My oldest is 26.
So I haven't really seen that one.
No. He'll be joining me here at the lake at the end of the weekend. Well, tomorrow, actually. It's going fast. But yeah, he'll be coming tomorrow. But my little ones are 9 and 11.
9 and 11. Now, what kind of custody do you have?
We have 50-50, but we have a really unique situation. He's actually here. So we still once a year take our little ones on a vacation together, as long as we're not in like a serious relationship with someone or anything, like someone who would have a problem with that or anything. So, but if we're both single and, everything's going well, we get along. It's really nice for our kids that we still do stuff together as a family. So we're here together with other family members and stuff too. But this time we get along pretty well, but we get on each other's nerves a little bit. Not too bad, but
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Not
Isn't
not
that nice,
not
though?
like what a lot of people have to deal
Yeah.
with. So I'm lucky. So is he.
I've been married 3 times, so I'm the winner here, or the loser. However you want to look at it. But I'm only friends with one of my ex-husbands, which is the last one. And it's so much nicer to just be able
That's because you need him to do car repairs for
to
you.
that and just, family stuff and sharing
Yes.
holidays with, my daughter's grown, but still there's some sharing involved because she's still very close with her stepdad. So yeah, it's just so much nicer when you can just be amicable.
It is no reason to fight and hate each other. You loved each other at one time, just channel that and move forward and try to get along. And I like usually most of the women he dates and stuff. I've met several of them. He's met people I've dated, and we just try not to make it weird. So
Do you guys talk about your dating life?
we do. Yes.
Does
we
he know
talk
you're on
about
Seeking?
He does.
Oh.
He does. Isn't that weird? That's kind of weird, maybe.
What does he think?
He doesn't think anything bad. He's very interested in hearing about it. He likes to hear the stories. And he's like not in like sugar daddy salary range, but he does make a good, he makes 6 figures. He does well for himself, but not like sugar daddy rich or anything. But he was like, this whole thing makes so much sense to me. Like both people coming to the table with their expectations. You have a schedule, you see each other twice a month, 3 times a month, whatever. And he's like, and then you live your life the rest of the time. And when you're together, it's fun. And, you help take care of the person. He's like, I actually might, you know what? I'm going to maybe try to be your sugar daddy. He couldn't be, but he's just really interested in the stories and the dynamic. And he doesn't think anything negative of it at all because he knows what I'm looking for and he's supportive and stuff. So,
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm curious because when I started Seeking, I was also in a small rural town here in Arizona, actually. But it was very difficult to do face-to-face dating. So how many face-to-face dates have you been on in the last 3 months?
so I've been on 3 face-to-face Seeking dates. Yep, 3.
How were
So-
those?
I don't do those in the little teeny tiny town I live in.
Same. I
yeah.
never did.
Yeah, I live right in between several, like 45 minutes from quite a little bit bigger towns. I always travel to them, and
That's
they're,
what I did.
they're like
too.
oh, a lot of women would be like, no, you are going to travel to me or whatever. But no, I travel to them, and it works better because there's really nothing to do not a lot to do in the town I live in. So I go there, and they've never been worried about, being seen or anything. But I think, I'm not 21. I'm 46. So it's not like a weird matchup. Not that it is if they're younger either, but like, I just don't think it says, they're like, they feel comfortable meeting in person. I don't know. So, but I always travel to them, and I've been on, 3. And I can get into details whenever you guys want.
Oh, I'm ready. And I understand why you don't want them coming to your small town, because in your small town, you can't just have a merry-go-round of men every weekend because everybody knows you in your small town.
I know. There's one restaurant and bar. There's 2 bars, but there's one restaurant bar that I really like. It's like on the water. There's a really good outdoor patio. People know me. I can't like bring, I've got a date this week. Oh, I've got another date. I've got another date. Not that I'm like getting around like that, but like I can't have everyone come to my little tiny town.
And everybody knows your business, and people tend to be a little judgmental in small towns.
So judgmental. Yeah, definitely.
So
nobody knows my town.
Date number 1.
The first one?
Yeah, how was that?
Okay, so date number 1. Oh, I have so much to say. Okay, so date number 1. Okay, so where do I even start? We met on Seeking, and we were kind of like talking about ourselves and what we want, what we're looking for. So date number 1, he was like very upfront. He's like, I'm not a sugar daddy. I'm on this website to meet my person. And I've had 2 very successful relationships with 2 women. They were long-term relationships, and one of them moved in with me. The other one, we were serious, but I'm not a sugar daddy. Like, I'm not going to like support anyone, blah, blah, blah. He travels a lot, and he said he'll pay for stuff, but like, I was fine with that because we had so much in common, and I was physically attracted to him and really excited to meet him. So we met. It was a great date. We went, how much do I say? I don't know.
Say as much as you want.
Okay. We went bowling, which was super fun. You might have heard this story before. No. I don't know. Ended up, we were having such a great time, and I don't drink very much, but I had a few glasses of wine, and I had to stay at his house because, well, I threw up. And that was so not classy at all. But
that's embarrassing.
I stayed at his house. Oh, so embarrassing. But like, he was so sweet. He got me a toothbrush, like made me a little bed, total gentleman, all of that. And we saw each other one other time after the first. Okay, so after the first date, though, he was like, I think I'm going to delete my Seeking account. I'm going to delete my dating apps. I think maybe you might want to kind of think about that too. And then I was like, we've had a date, like 1 date, 2 dates, whenever it was, but like, I wasn't ready for that. And it didn't end super well. And then I was traveling for a while. He was traveling for a while, and he wanted to meet up again and kind of made plans. But then, so my job, I'm not going to say what I do, but it's kind of easy for people to find out a lot about my personal life because it's kind of out there. So he was kind of keeping up with what I was doing outside of talking to him. And he didn't really like it that I wasn't exclusive with him, and I was dating a couple other people and stuff. So like, I would talk about some of the stuff out there in the public, and he didn't like that. And I respect him for his whatever he thought about that. But I kind of was honest though too. I told him up front that I wasn't like ready to do that. So it didn't end super well because
okay, but that's a huge red flag. You've gone on 2 dates. Let's be exclusive. Let's delete all of our stuff.
Right.
Just focus on each other after 2 dates.
Yeah, Lily's had that pressure put on her, and it's crazy. Too much, too soon.
Yeah.
How old was he? You remember?
He was 43, so like a couple years younger than me, but he's a dad and has a good job, and obviously, but there were some red flags for sure. So he communicated with me quite a bit after. A couple times I told him, well, he bought me also a very big gift that, I mean, I didn't ask for it at all. He knows some of the music I like. He bought me concert tickets to a show that's coming up in October, and they were very expensive concert tickets. And
Who's this?
Mark Rebier. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh, he's so good. He's known as Loop Daddy. So he got really
what kind
big.
of music
like,
is that?
What genre?
It's kind of like electronic, kind of like his own kind of experimental thing, kind of like a
Oh,
little techno.
I do know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I
gone
do.
viral with
Yeah.
some stuff. And he wears a silk robe
Mhm.
usually, and he has a keyboard, and he's like really cute and hair down to his shoulders, and he's freaking out all the time with his hair flapping around. And
And where is
he's
he
crazy.
performing?
He performs everywhere.
Okay. So
all over Europe and all over the US.
okay. And the tickets were expensive?
Well, I didn't know that, but I looked up the tickets he bought me. I mean, they were like $1,200 a piece.
Oh,
and he
wow.
bought two. Yeah. Not anything I would have ever asked for. And we weren't even in an arrangement of any sort, you know. But what he did was super nice, wonderful. He got them for my birthday. And he is the one who kind of like ended it with me. He said, you know, if you're dating other people, I don't want to date you. So I said, okay, well, I respect that, but this would be where we part ways then, because I'm being transparent with what I want. I'm not like lying. I'm not ready to commit to one person yet. So that's fine. And then after that, he said, well, I'll just give you your present then now. And I'm like, present? What do you mean? He said, I got you a birthday present. So he transferred the tickets over to my name, and then he emailed me and he said, I just emailed you your birthday present. So I opened it and I was like, what? No. I said, this is too much. Actually, I was like, I'm not accepting these. I mean, thank you so much, but I can't accept this. This is like a huge gift. And he was adamant. No, you, first of all, they're in your name. I can't transfer them back. And he was like, I just want you to go enjoy it. I'm probably taking my oldest son,
I was going
to
to
be
ask,
honest.
now
because,
who's going to be your plus one?
probably my oldest son, because he's
Okay.
actually the person who introduced me to this guy. So probably him. And it's in a city that my family lives in. And it's the day after my brother's really old now, but it's the day after my brother's 60th birthday. So the timing could not be more perfect in the place, you know? So I'm going to go enjoy it. I mean, what am I supposed to do here? Like, did he want me to take him? Should I take him? I don't know.
No,
Like,
I think it's exactly how it played out. Here's your gift. I've done that before too. You know,
Yeah.
if something hasn't worked out and I've already bought something, I'm like, well, here. Matter of fact,
Plane tickets, et
Well,
cetera.
here-
That's happened to me.
here's something I bought an ex-sugar baby. And when I gave this gift to her, I said, you can use this gift to change your life. And I made her guess at it for like a week. And I kept giving her hints. So what do you think that I gave my ex-sugar baby? I'd already bought it. There was nothing I could use it for. So I went ahead and gave it to her while we were broke up. Now, we ended up getting back together for a short time, but I gave her the interesting gift.
I think it was a wig because she had shaved her head.
No, that gift was like a year earlier. My sugar baby, she shaved her head. I showed up one day and her head was, she was completely bald.
Yeah.
why? Like,
She just had this fantasy of doing it. She just wanted to be G.I. Jane, I guess.
she probably had one of those gorgeous faces.
Yeah,
where,
she was-
like, she was
she
like
was
a
very-
supermodel and could pull it off.
She was very pretty, but I marched her right down to the wig shop and we bought 2 wigs. And they were actually pretty cute.
Two, one for you and one for her.
No, actually, I need one too.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah, I should have bought one for myself. But what I bought her is.
I didn't even know you're wearing a hat. I didn't even know what was
Oh.
under there. I
Oh,
was
nothing
joking.
is underneath there.
Bald is beautiful.
Oh, I love a shaved head. So.
Well, it just got
Okay.
so thin. Matter of fact, a funny story.
I agree.
Before I get to what I bought her, she's the one. So we were about to go to the Phoenix Open, the big golf tournament here. It's the biggest party in the world in February, besides the Super Bowl. And we're out shopping for clothes for her to wear to the Phoenix Open. And she goes, hey, and her delivery was horrible on this, but it did change my whole entire look. So we're at the store buying it. She goes, hey, there's something I've been wanting to talk to you about. You always got to love a conversation that starts out like that, right? And I'm like, okay. And she looked at my head and she pointed and she goes, yeah, that's got to go. And I'm like, what? She goes, it's got to go. It's just not looking good. And I'm like,
What little hair you had left? Is this what she was referring to?
Yeah, she's pointing at my hair that was getting thinner and thinner. And I was like offended. So I was mad. So I went home and I got my razor. And 5 minutes later, bam, I shaved my head. And I looked at myself and I went, that's not too bad. I think I like this.
It's always better, I think, just going full shaved head.
Yeah.
I love shaved heads on guys. I think it's usually a really good look.
Well, and then I grew out the beard, and then I started getting compliments left and right. And I'm like, damn, I should have done this years ago.
Yep. Yeah, a beard or a goatee or whatever, some facial hair with a shaved head. I think it's always a good look.
So I do have to credit her for my look of today, and I do have to credit her also for this podcast even existing, because she had started a podcast, and hers is no longer running, but she asked me to be a guest on her podcast. And she's like, what are we going to talk about? And I sat there. We were having sushi. And I sat there and I go, I have an idea. She's like, what is it? Let me think this one through. And I went home and started thinking it through. And it just started really growing. And then I got my assistant at the time. I said, hey, here's what we need to do. And I gave her a list of things to do. And here we are, Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
Okay, why did I think it was Amy that talked you into shaving your head?
No, it was, I think we call her Madison.
Yeah, Madison.
Yeah.
So, but back to that whole thing, I'm feeling bad and guilty about this. And Lily, you said you've had people buy a gift and then you just keep it if the relationship ends. But I'm like,
well,
that's okay. Or think.
In the case,
well, she's had very expensive rings bought for her.
Yeah. So in the case of like airline tickets, there's been times when sugar daddies have bought me plane tickets to destinations and things fell through. Either I began dating someone exclusively, so then I was no longer able to go on the trip, or one time the guy I was going to see came down with COVID. So in those cases, there's nothing they can do. They can't really get their money back. So you just get the airline credit and you can't really feel bad about it. I was exclusive with one sugar daddy who bought me a very nice ring. Actually bought me two really nice rings. One was expensive and one was uber expensive. And
all right, we need dollar amounts.
Okay.
So the uber expensive one was just right at 10 grand. And the other one I believe was 2,000 or 2,500.
They were beautiful. Both rings were gorgeous.
So when I told him that I didn't think it was going to work out, because I was living with him at the time, at his insistence, and I was reluctant to do it, but I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance because he was so persistent. I was like, okay, I'm going to try it. Once I was there full time, I knew it wasn't the right fit. And so I had that conversation with him and he got really upset and he said, I would like the expensive ring back, but you can keep the other one. The expensive one was up like a promise ring, like a promise that this relationship is going to go somewhere. The other one was just a gift. And so I tried to give him back both rings and he said, no, that one was a Christmas present. So keep that. But I do want the other one back. And I gave it to him, of course. I'm a firm believer in karma and doing the right thing and ending on the best terms possible. Although eventually he just got really upset and blocked me. That ended kind of ugly.
It's a fiery ending.
But he was on the spectrum, and so he was not good at handling rejection, and he was terrible at closure.
Yeah.
So
I totally get that. And so that's kind of like, okay, so I have so much to learn, and that's why I have so many questions, but like, I get that. And you know what? I think, on my end of the relationship, I think I did everything right. And I was honest and open, and we had communicated everything well before we saw each other and met each other in person. And, you know, I think I did everything on the up and up. And I tried to end it amicably. We did end it amicably. Like, we would still send each other a funny meme or something like that. It's not like bad or anything. It just wasn't a good match, probably because we were maybe looking for different things. So I don't even count that as a proper seeking experience because, well, like Marcus has talked about before, Seeking has rebranded and stuff. So he's this rebranded group of people, like that guy.
Well,
but yeah.
I'll let you in on a little secret.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a proper nor typical seeking relationship.
Okay.
Every single one that you have is going to be very unique. I guarantee it. And I know you've only had a handful, but I've had dozens, and every single one of them was very different and very unique. What would you say?
Their own.
Oh, yeah. And that's what they'll say, well, what kind of arrangement are you looking for? Or I'll ask them, and because I said, look, every person has unique wants and needs. And so I'm flexible. You may be only available once a week, once every other week. You may be available 5 times a week. You may be looking for comedy clubs and nights out, or you may be looking for discretion. There's just so many variables.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, my advice with this guy who bought you the concert tickets, because you feel uncertain as to why he went ahead and gave them to you, what his motives were, and maybe what he wanted out of that, I'd have a conversation with him about it. I would just say, hey, I really appreciate this. It's wonderful. I'm going to love going to this concert, and I could certainly invite my son to go along with me. But were you kind of thinking you wanted one last adventure with me? Like, did you want to go with me, or did you truly just want me to go and enjoy the concert with my kid? Maybe just get some clarification, just so you feel good about it and you don't have any background anxiety that, did I do the right thing or not?
I don't think I could go to the concert with him.
Oh, you could.
To be honest, I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, then don't even bring it up. You're fine.
Okay.
You go enjoy it.
He was like, you can resell them. I don't care what you do. So I'm not doing that.
All right. So speaking of reselling, so back to, I left the gift that I gave.
Oh, yes.
I was waiting, patiently
to change the life. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's okay. That's what happens here. We get
Marcus,
off on all kinds of tangents.
Changer.
So what I did, she has a very designer first name. It's hyphenated. It's like one of these two names.
Bougie and fancy.
Yeah, it's a designer name, right? So
Is it her real name?
Yeah, it's her real name. It's her God-given name. So I bought her the domain to her name.
Whoa.
The web domain.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you buy her own star?
Her own star? What are you talking about?
You can buy stars.
Star? Oh, in the sky. Yeah, there's only 14 trillion stars. Yeah. And so I kind of teased it to her, and I kept giving her these hints. And finally, I presented this gift to her, and I actually mocked up some website designs, what she could do with it and how she could branch off with it. And at first, she didn't really see the vision, but then she ended up using that web domain for her podcast and for some other things and to sell. Oh. She made some stickers and different things, and she sold them on there with her name and her podcast name and all this stuff. Now, she's married now, and I think that she was trying to sell the website on like GoDaddy or something, but I don't know if anybody bought it. Yeah, I paid $3,000 for it. I mean, it cost me quite a bit of money.
Wow.
Yeah. It was
my goodness.
very hard to get. Like, the guy would not sell it to me for a while. He wanted like 5,000 or 6,000, and I finally got him come down to 3,000. But that was probably one of the most thoughtful gifts I've ever given anybody.
Okay, so you purchased it before you broke up.
I'd been working on it for months, and then we broke up, and then I got the message from GoDaddy or whatever that he was going to accept the offer, and I was like, damn, okay. It was such a cool gift.
It was.
That I went ahead and bought it, and I presented it to her during the month that we were apart. And then we ended up getting back together, but it was very rocky from that point forward till our final end. But she kept the site, and she actually did some things with it for a while. Anyway.
Speaking of websites, so when you talk about buying her own name domain and all of that, just curious, did you think she would do something like like an OnlyFans or like
Well, she
something
did
like that?
OnlyFans and she
Okay.
and she used that site to promote it for a while.
Got it.
She was
Okay.
one of those that made some pretty good money pretty quickly. Like she was making $1,500 to $2,000 a month, which was good extra money for a single mom with 3
Yeah.
kids. But
Definitely.
anyway, she got married and she deleted all of that. So
I'm curious, is there like a larger ratio or larger amount of women who are like in the sugar lifestyle who have OnlyFans or who do things like that? I just wonder. I feel like, I don't know, do a lot of sugar babies have stuff like that? Is that something people talk about?
I know they
much?
think about it because
Yeah.
the money's ridiculous.
Yeah. the
And a
money
lot
is-
of them just do soft, I guess you call it soft porn or whatever. You know, they're just nude pictures and different things like that and some videos. It's not even like hardcore sex stuff.
Yeah. It's not
No.
something I would ever consider,
but-
but I mean, I'm a mom and
Yeah.
I would be mortified if,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. If your kids found that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Our girl Kimmy did it. Now she's no longer doing it.
Oh, she's not?
No.
How'd you find that out?
I was messaging her because I haven't heard from her in a while.
Yeah.
And she's just really focused on, she's going into commercial real estate.
Okay.
And she may not even come back here if she gets the position that she wants in Los Angeles.
Boo.
All right.
Well, we'll have to remote her in.
She said she's not doing OnlyFans at all. And she's focusing on her career.
So here's a girl that went from 0 to 100,000 a month on OnlyFans, and she's not doing it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
100,000 a month?
Yeah. She had 2 accounts. One of them was being run by an agency, and then the other one was, I think, being run separately. Combined, it was bringing in over 6 figures.
Well, for that much a month, I would just sign me up. If anyone wants to see a middle-aged mom of 3 on her OnlyFans, I would do that. I would do that.
I think it was
that's-
taking a toll on her, though, on her mental state.
I think it was too. And it was a lot
Oh.
because her agency would give her this big, long list of things that she had to check off every week. And it was a lot.
Well, and the
And
reason
very
they're pushing her is
specific.
because they're taking a big chunk of it.
Very specific.
So,
like, you
yeah.
need to do a shower scene. You need to do this scene.
Yeah, the whole list of things.
Yeah. It was a lot.
Just a lot.
It was
Okay.
like having
Interesting.
a full-time job.
Well, I mean, if you treat it like a job, you can make that kind of money. But then, is it really that fulfilling?
No.
Apparently,
Well,
it wasn't for
I
her.
don't think it was.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Lily. So I know what your full-time job used to be, and that's not something you're doing anymore, but do you have a day job? What do you do? Because, okay, so this is leading
This is
into
a good question.
my story number 2, because this is a lot. If you're managing a relationship with someone who expects an attentive partner, and there's just a lot. Dating relationships are a lot of work, and the job that I did before was really not allowing me to be the best partner that I could be because I was working so much, and I feel like it was like self-sabotaging and got in the way of relationship number 2 that I tried to have, that I'll tell you about in a minute. But I'm curious to hear about your work-life relationship kind of balance.
Okay, so I'm retired from my career.
Okay.
And after, like I said, I was in small town, rural Arizona. And after my divorce, I had been in a very platonic marriage, no intimacy for 8+ years.
It was
Sounds
that
like
long?
mine
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So I mean, I was starved for affection and I was ready to get out there and start dating again. And I literally could not date in my small hometown. There was nobody there to date. So
Same.
yeah, so I could retire. So I did retire and I knew I needed to move to a larger city where there was a dating pool of men my age, because I'm definitely not going to date the youngsters.
Right.
And so I was friends with Marcus and I told him, hey, I know you have some rentals. I'm looking for a place to
She
rent.
was more than friends.
Oh, very briefly. Very briefly.
Were you guys friends with benefits for a little while?
For a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, he's the first person I met off Seeking.
Yeah.
He's the first person I met face to face off of Seeking. And thank God, because I learned so much. Small town, naive country girl, things could have gone really sideways for me had I not met this guy first, because he was very informative about things I should be doing.
I even have a podcast.
And ways I could be safe. And
he was like a safe space for you to like figure out, navigate through all this. Yeah.
So we went on probably like 3 or 4 dates.
She came spend a weekend with me, and then I don't remember. She helped me shop. I remember she helped me shop for Christmas presents for Amy, and
I think we had 3 one-on-one dates, and then I came to his big birthday bash at the Dua Lipa.
Well, I took you to see Gin Blossoms.
Yes,
there at the casino. That was a lot of fun.
That was so
their local
fun.
band. They're from Arizona. They went to Arizona State. Yeah. And so they perform here a lot. They're fantastic. That was a great concert.
Every date I went on with this guy was super fun, but we quickly discovered
we're too much alike.
That we're like Siamese twins separated at birth. And we're just too much the same person, you know, for anything to...
So did you bicker?
No.
Did you have any arguments or anything?
No.
But our birthdays are only a few days apart. It's our ages are very similar. Like our music tastes are almost exactly the same. The very first weekend she was here, I said, "Hey, I need to run to Costco to do something." I love Costco. I'm like, "Oh my God, where'd you come from?" And then get this, they had a Popeye's chicken next door, and I'm a huge Popeye's chicken fan. Who's going to take a date to Popeye's chicken? Well, Lilly. Lilly was game. Yeah, let's do Popeye's chicken. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, we're so much
alike. That's great.
But, there was no potential for romance there because it would be like banging your brother. So
that's what I was going to say. It was like more like brother, sister, best friend relationship.
Yeah.
But it worked out. You guys are still friends, and now you're on the podcast.
And I work for him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's awesome.
My question to him was, do you have a place I can rent? And he said yes. And I said, I know you have a wide network of friends with business. Is anyone hiring a secretary, personal assistant? And he said, I'm hiring a personal assistant. I just had to let mine go.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So it worked out wonderfully because he's like, you can work for me and rent from me. And it was great. So here I am.
That's perfect.
And we've had our 1 year work anniversary.
She actually, so my birthday was about 3 months after we met. Out of the 22, I had a 22 person suite for the Dua Lipa concert. I've told this story many times. It's so fun. I invited a bunch of past sugar babies and people I'm currently seeing. And it sounds like a lot, but I mean, I've been 2016, right? I've met people from the site. A lot of these people, even though I don't continue to date them, they're still friends of mine. They still reach out. We're on social media together. We do business together. So I invited
that says a lot about you also as a person.
Well, that's the nice thing about these relationships. It's like kind of when they come to an end, it's not this fiery ending where it's like we had all this invested. It was like, hey, let's go to Maple and Ash, which is a great restaurant here, and let's have a fun dinner and go to see a show after or whatever. And we just have a good time. And at the end of the night, they go their way, I go mine. And we just enjoy each other's company while we're here, but there's not that pressure of a relationship. So when it kind of fades, it's not like this fiery ending where you're just both hate each other and you're mad at each other and you're never going to talk to each other again. They kind of just hang around and they'll check in every now and then like, hey, how's it going? And they'll tell me, I met this guy on the site and blah, blah, blah. And they'll start telling me stories and I'll tell them. It's just it's a fun time. But where I was going with this was, so Lilly came to my birthday party, and out of all the people there, Lilly spent the night with me.
Like just snuggling and your feet touching, like
that was it.
Spent the night. No, sorry.
No, and I was I was very happy that she was the one who kind of closed out the night with me. It was fun.
I think there's a country song about this. I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
But there was a very practical reason for that. I still lived in my small town. Yeah. And he invited me to come to this concert. And he said, now, I need you to understand, there's going to be a lot of girls there. So this isn't a date. We're not actually on a date. You're just one of the entourage that I'm inviting to my party. But you can stay at my house because, you're from out of town. Right. And it's going to be a long night. So you can crash at my house.
Yeah.
Oh, a gentleman.
And I did.
And she crashed at my house. But here's the great thing about that is Lily ended up meeting people at that party. And since we're all part of the same lifestyle, they all just felt very comfortable around each other. And they exchanged numbers and they still communicate. And it was a very interesting night.
Oh, that's where I met Amy for the first time.
You met Amy, you met
and
Angie.
You
met Kevin.
Mm-hmm. And
we're all big parts of my show.
My friend from Chicago.
She's an airline stewardess or a flight attendant.
We got to get her back on the show. We need to catch up with her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she flew down from Chicago just to come to the party because, she can do that very cheaply for free, basically.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
Hey, guys, do me a big favor and talk with our friend Maria Scaptura. Now, she is a PhD student doing research on sugar dating. The interviews are anonymous, they're unrecorded, but you can give her valuable information about the sugar bowl. She wants to talk to sugar daddies and sugar babies. Now, she did use some research money to pay for this ad, and we strongly encourage you to help her out with her PhD program and this research that she's doing. We have some QR codes on the website where you can go there, or just contact her directly at scaptura@uark.edu. And her name is spelled SCAPTURA@uark.edu. All right, now back to the show.
You're listening to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Have a comment or want to be on the show? Okay. Find us at secretsofasugardaddy.com. Now back to the show with your host, Marcus.
Yeah, that's so nice. And I think that's the thing why I kind of reached back out to Lily. I was like, I just wanted to reach back out again because I don't know. I don't know anyone who's doing this. I knew one person, but we don't talk anymore really. But it's nice to have a network of people you can bounce ideas off of and meet new people, make new friends, and you get each other because you're all in the same thing. So I like that.
The best friends of my life right now are all from people I met on Seeking.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I look at it now and these people are such good characters. They're such good, genuine souls. And then I have a main sugar baby, Alejandra, but she was in Hawaii for 10 days and she knows we're both still on the site. It's a weird dynamic, but even though we've been dating for over a year, I mean, she's still meeting guys. But we're not really getting in very deep with these people, but I just enjoy the company of just having a few drinks with somebody that I've never met before and talking about the lifestyle and talking about things. And, I was just telling somebody the other day that while we were having over drinks, it's like, I just can't believe, because she's saying she was having a hard time. There was a lot of scammers on there. There was a lot of men that just talk really crude to her and send crazy pictures. And she's like, wow, you're so nice and genuine. I'm like, there's lots of guys on the site like that. But you just got to be patient and you got to be persistent and you just got to dig through the bullshit to get there.
You got to
weed
them out and you got to really vet carefully.
But you've met them.
I have.
And you've met all the other
and I'm still
crazy men too.
With most of them.
Yeah.
We check up on each other.
Yeah.
We don't date anymore, but we check up on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were going to tell us about sugar date number 2.
Yeah, sugar date number 2. So this was very elaborate. We had been talking for a while. Very transparent. We became social media friends with each other pretty quickly. We had a few mutual friends, actually. That's going to happen in a state where we live.
Oh, so he was from the same area, kind of?
A couple hours away, but we still kind of had a few mutual friends in the same circles and stuff.
Okay.
So we had a few people that we knew in common. And, we talked for, I would say we were talking and texting and video chatting for a good 3 weeks before we were actually able to meet up. And then he had a plane. He flew to pick me up in his plane in the tiny town I live in. And that was obviously very romantic, seemed really over the top, just it was awesome. I don't like small planes, so I was not a huge fan of that ride, but it was really quick. So we did that, and then I stayed with him for a couple days, and I felt totally comfortable and safe and everything because, like I said, we have people in common and stuff, so it was fine. And I looked him up, and you look up, you Google everyone, right? Do you do that?
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
absolutely. If they don't have a common name, and sometimes even if they do, you can find them, but always try to do research on the person you're meeting.
And if they won't give you that information, they won't give you their real name, their last name, where they work, or anything like that after you've talked for a while, I kind of feel like that's a red flag. Is it a red flag, or is it self-preservation? Like, what do you think?
You never know.
You never know, but you got to start putting that in the red flag category to be cautious. And it's a hard yellow flag, I guess we'd say.
Yeah, I think so too, because if I had been talking to someone for a while, I would tell them my real name or give them my real cell phone number. They can find out anything they need to find out about me. So anyway, but this was great. We spent a few days together, did some good dinners, went to visit. He had a lake house, and we went there, and just had a wonderful time. But I, unfortunately, was working so much at the time. I had to work the whole time I was there, and he had to work too, but he's running like a multi-million-dollar business, and he's working less than me. There's a problem there. So he was like, at the end of the trip and everything, like, we had a great time, but he was like, you work so much. And
I'm like, well, you could take care of that, sir.
I kind of did want to say that, but we lived 2 hours away, and he said, you're so busy with your job, you're busy with your career, you're busy with your little kids who are 9 and 11. We still talk, but I also saw on social media, he like kind of rekindled things with his ex-girlfriend after that too. So, and I don't think it was a seeking relationship, but it was great. It was like a good getting my feet wet into things and stuff. And it was like a good experience. But then the third experience was exactly what sugar dating should be. So that was just recently, a couple weeks ago. It was someone I had been talking to. So I don't know, Lilly. So you established the boundaries, the framework of the relationship, right? Kind of like before you meet in person. Do you like talk about, what you need? Do you talk about monthly allowance or things like that?
That's different every time as well, because it's easier to broach that topic with some sugar daddies than it is with others. So that's the difficult part. You kind of have to let them lead and see what they're thinking.
Okay.
I oftentimes will say, well, in my previous arrangement, this is what it looked like. And this is what I was very comfortable with. But, I don't know what your thoughts and feelings are, what you want. But this is what it looked like for me in my previous
That's what I
situation.
do, actually.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that's a good way to broach it. And sometimes that scares them right off, because they'll be like, oh, whoa. I by no means can accommodate that, but
Yeah. So we talked about this a little bit, but when my seeking account came to be, it was not me who created it. It was somebody else in my life who just said, you should try this. So they created the account. They were kind of like replying to people, and I didn't even have the password or anything. And we communicated in totally different styles than each other. And this person was a little more like, and this sounds weird, probably. This was kind of like for my job. Yeah. I work in entertainment. So this person I worked with was like, you need to date, you need to get out there again. And I was kind of reluctant to that. And they had some experience with seeking arrangement. So they set up the account and stuff. And then I changed the password and was the one in control of it later. But at first, it would be like a very little too direct conversation, and it probably scared a lot of people off.
I bet.
That's not really how I do it. Nope. I kind of like to ask questions like, what do you like to do? What would a great date look like for you? Do you like the outdoors? Just kind of talk a little bit. And so, yeah. But the last kind of like arrangement or whatever, it's still ongoing. But it was like exactly what it should be. So just two people who like knew what they wanted, just something very like kind of casual and but like ongoing, but like very chill and laid back. So we talked for a while. The first meeting though, again, we had kind of like talked for quite a while and felt comfortable, vetted each other in a good way and everything. So I got to his house and he had made these, he had like cute little like glasses with umbrellas and stuff sitting out, and we made some like cute little like summer cocktails, and we sat and had a little cocktail, and then went to dinner, had great conversation, and I don't know, it was just really good. And there is though like a financial aspect to that. Do you guys talk about that stuff like in the show and stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
part of sugar dating. That's the
okay,
sugar
like
in
I don't
dating.
know.
That's the
Do you-
sugar.
Yeah, so but it was like we're both very happy with with the arrangement. So I would say that's like the best one, the best experience I've
Now,
had, because
we want to know,
Yeah.
like, how is the arrangement structured? Is it a pay per meet, weekly, monthly?
it's a monthly
Really?
allowance. And why I brought the previous thing in was because so he had messaged me my account when I wasn't the one at the keyboard. And he was like trying to be like nice and conversational. And the person who was at the helm wasn't so nice and just like got right to it. Like, what are you offering? Like kind of, and
What are
like
you offering?
I wouldn't normally do that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And said like a dollar amount right away. And he was like, wow, you're worth every penny, but that's probably not, what I can do or whatever. And so when I circled back through my old messages to see what I had missed, and I know your listeners are probably like, what is happening here? But
Well, here's the deal. You had
okay.
someone who thought they were, air quote, helping you.
Yes.
And honestly, their approach is so different from your
Right.
actual personality that they were probably just doing more damage than good.
That's what
Absolutely.
I think. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. There were so many nice people I was probably a really good fit with. And that communication style scared them off, I'm sure. So I circled back to him and I said, hey, kind of a weird situation, but you were talking to someone else. Wouldn't you, Marcus, would you just be like, what is happening here? Like, would you talk to someone who said that? Or would you be like,
No, that
this
makes 100%
seems like
sense. If somebody
catfishy?
told me,
Okay.
hey, my friend actually was doing the replying because she thought she knew, how to navigate through this and was in my best interest. But it's me from now on. And
Yeah.
I'd like to.
Yeah. So we
I would
got
understand.
that worked
Yeah.
out. Yeah, we got that worked out. And I'm really glad we did, because wow, what a great person. Just a fun person. Has been separated for, gosh, like 3 or 4 years with a divorce, like a brutal divorce that is just dragging on and on. And I know a lot of people probably say that, but it is a fact. So
it can happen. For sure.
Yeah. And he told me his story a lot, like trying to date, going on a regular dating app with like his kids' parents, friends, or his kids' friends' parents and stuff, like knowing not all the details of their home life. Like they don't know mom and dad are going through this terrible divorce, and like they see him on a dating app and he was like, God, I can't be doing this. So seeking was the best place for him to be, I guess. So
How long distance is this relationship?
we're about an hour and a half. So
That's not too bad.
it's not at all. So, and he's just like a great person. We have had so many great conversations, tons of fun together, but just, keeping it,
Casual.
when we're apart, we're apart. And then we have couple things on the calendar, and we just look forward to that. And that's how it is. So yeah, it's
Perfect.
good. Yeah. And then I kind of like through your podcast actually made a new friend too. So
We were going to bring that up.
yet or later?
No, now it's perfect.
Let's dive right in. So
Let's do it.
Before I became exclusive with Trucker, I was air quote exclusive with. I had narrowed it down to 2 guys. I was only dating 2 guys, and I was dating Podcast Fanboy and I was dating Trucker. And Podcast Fanboy and I went and spent 3 weeks in Europe and had a fantastic time.
Mm-hmm.
More fun. One of the best experiences of my entire life. But when we returned to Arizona, he ended up going to his mountain cabin, and I ended up reconnecting with Trucker. And basically, Trucker and I have been inseparable since I got back from Europe.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen you in a week.
Yeah, inseparable. And so I feel like that's an exaggeration, but we'll get back to that.
Second time, maybe.
But we just recently decided to be exclusive. And I was never exclusive with Podcast Fanboy.
No.
He likes it that way. That's
Right.
his ideal situation, is to date multiple women. But in the meantime, Podcast Fanboy heard about you and reached out to Marcus and said, hey, could I get her contact information? This girl that you guys have been talking about that's new to the seeking game seems really fantastic. And so now you're friends with, I don't want to assume anything, but you're friends with, and you're going to spend Labor Day weekend with my former sugar daddy, Podcast Fanboy. And
yeah, I love this whole family thing too, by the way. But yeah.
No, I know you've been talking to him for a while, but have you met him face to face yet?
No, we haven't met face to face. And you know what? We haven't even talked on the phone, but we've shared some amazing text messages and lots of good communication. So, yeah, it's great. Marcus is laughing.
Well, yeah, he
messages
messages me. He texts me a lot.
You haven't talked on the phone nor FaceTimed?
We have not.
Oh
No.
my
Isn't that
goodness.
crazy?
That is
it's
crazy.
But I did listen to his episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy.
That was
I know
our
his full
episode
story.
100.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. And he's seen a lot of my stuff,
Okay.
videos and
Gotcha.
stuff I've done. Yeah. But he's a great texter. Seems like a wonderful communicator.
He is a wonderful communicator.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best.
Yeah, it seems that way. So yeah, we've hit it off really well, and I'm going there to visit September 1st. So the 1st through the 5th.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this episode will actually come out after that. So we'll have to catch up with you to see how that went.
Yes. Catch up with him. Actually, I want to know what he says.
Oh, we're gonna get both of you zooming in on that one.
We'll get the.
Actually, he might be back to Arizona by then. I don't know.
Hmm.
We'll call him in to the studio and zoom with you.
Yeah. Yes, but it's not what I expected to happen at all, but totally through the podcast. So,
he is so fun to talk to. You guys are going to have a great time. You'll have wonderful conversations. It'll be fun.
Yeah, some of the stories that he's told me, which have nothing to do with sugar dating, but in business, and some of the things that he's been involved with, just jaw-dropping and so interesting for me personally. I'll just kind of give you a little bit of hit without giving away. He helped a very famous team get bought, a sports franchise, and he was a big part on getting that team to this owner. And the stories.
Yeah,
he has so much experience and has done and seen a lot of things. So that there alone is quite entertaining. Yeah.
And he's got beautiful dogs.
Yep.
So
I've
pretty.
seen pictures and videos.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But what you're saying about his experience, his work experience, career stuff, like that's one thing that appeals to me so much about seeking.
Mhm.
I've met amazing entrepreneurs, people who are so like successful and have so much valuable knowledge up here that I can learn from. That's one of my favorite parts of it. I'm not just like meeting some guy on Tinder or Bumble and I have to like figure it out for 6 months and, figure out if his credit's okay
Yeah.
and like is he like what red flags he
Well,
might
and
have or
also
something
too,
like that.
I've double dated with him and even triple dated for Thanksgiving. Remember that? We all had Thanksgiving at my club. You forgetting this, Lily? Remember?
Wait, who else were we with?
Amy came with her guy.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah,
then
yeah,
Alejandra and I came, and you
I
and
was like, triple
Podcast
dated?
Fanboy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody just loves him. So
I think he seems very likable.
Mhm.
And we're both like really outdoorsy and stuff. So I don't know. I think it's going to be
It'll be
gonna
fun.
good.
I'm
Yeah.
a little jealous. I never got to go to the cabin. That was one thing I was
did
really
you not?
excited
Oh,
about.
okay.
So
So speaking of that, like I've texted you a couple times and I
Yeah.
asked him too. I'm like, so I feel like it's like a family, it's like everyone's kind of intermingled and stuff. Like, is everyone okay with it? Like you're okay with it. Like everyone seems to be okay with it, right? Like I wonder how I haven't experienced this a lot, but jealousy, like how does that work? Like do you ever experience it? Do you ever experience it in your relationships when someone's with multiple people? Like, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to make sure you were okay with everything first.
No, I'm
so,
absolutely
yeah.
fine. If he and I had not been so transparent with each other about what we wanted, because he knew the entire time that we dated that I was ultimately looking for my person and I was looking for exclusivity and I wanted a real authentic relationship. And I wasn't having any luck with that, which honestly is why I was just enjoying sugar dating for a couple of years, is because I was not finding my person.
Right.
And he was very clear that he didn't want to go exclusive. And I was very clear that I didn't want to go exclusive. We knew we weren't each other's person. We got along great. I think we'll be friends for life, but
Yes.
Oh yeah.
he would never begrudge me my happiness, and I would never begrudge him any happiness. So, it wasn't that kind of a dynamic to where I could get jealous.
Got
Really?
it. Okay. Yeah.
Well, there was a twinge.
Well, only here. Okay, and maybe he needs to hear this. There was a little bit of, I don't know if it was so much jealousy as irritation on my part, because before he knew that I was going exclusive with Trucker, and I feel like he sensed it because we had kind of talked about it in Europe, and he said, if that ends up happening, I fully support you, don't feel bad, just let me know. But instead of, when he wanted to reach out to someone who he had learned of through the podcast, of which I'm a very big part, he didn't reach out to me. He didn't reach out to me. And I feel like he should have, out of respect for me, reached out to me first and said, hey, I heard this episode where you talked about this girl and she sounds amazing and I would like to possibly connect with her. How do you feel about that? Are you cool with it? Would that be okay? Like, is there any part of you that feels like you wouldn't want me to do that?
Yeah.
Out of respect for me, he should have done that. But did he do that? No. He reached out to Marcus and said, can I get Katy's digits? Hook me up with Miss Katy.
Okay.
So that was...
I'm on Lily's
It wasn't
side.
exactly
I'm on
that
Lily's
way,
side.
but
Well, it was basically that.
yeah.
And
But I get it. That makes sense.
Here's the thing. I was already on a path to where, I think it was the next week where Trucker gave me a ring and asked me to be exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already on a path, and I knew I was going down that path, but I had not. And the minute I knew that was for sure what I was doing, he's the first person I let know.
Yeah. Yep.
But he
Yep.
didn't
He didn't reciprocate
He
that.
didn't give me that same courtesy.
So I get it. As a
And he-
woman, I think I get it.
mean,
Yeah.
I knew he was dating other chicks, but it's different when he's dating or he's reaching out to someone that you already sort of have a connection with.
Exactly.
And
like
so
through your workplace, through your own thing. Yeah.
So
I get
I don't
that.
know. I think out of respect for me, he should have maybe. But I mean,
But that's water under the bridge
it's
now.
so not a big deal.
Yeah.
But at the time, I was like,
Yeah, you were a little annoyed.
wait, why didn't he ask me
Yeah.
Yeah.
how I felt?
Yeah.
It was just a courtesy thing.
Yeah. But I mean,
I always
it's
worry about
fine.
that too. I'm very interested in like how do you balance like multiple relationships and stuff, and like how do you, is there
It's
you know.
hard for me because
Yeah.
I am your typical diehard romantic and I want that fairy tale. I crave it. And I haven't had it in a very, very, very long time, if ever, to be honest, reflecting back. I don't know that I've ever had it. But I certainly hadn't had anything even remotely like that in a very long time. And so I was always very clear with anyone I dated off of any website, Seeking or otherwise. I am looking for my person. I can have fun with you in the meantime, but I am going to protect my heart. And
Yes.
if you're not checking off my boxes, then this isn't going to go long term.
Yep.
So
I think that's great. And
Yeah.
I think you get to a point in life too where you're comfortable just being yourself and saying that I never could have done that or would have done that in my 30s and my 40s. I'm totally able to like, this is what I want. Yeah. Do you, Lily, date or do you vanilla date, like organic traditional dating, or is it mostly like arrangement things or seeking things?
So, I have met gentlemen that I guess you would I call it civilian dating.
Okay, that's a good term. Yeah.
I haven't really met too many people out in the wild though. I've mostly
Okay.
met people online
Yeah.
and there's only 2 sites that I met anyone off of that were sugar sites, which is Secret Benefits and Seeking.
Got it.
Actually, yeah.
Millionaire Match?
Well, Millionaire Match is not a sugar
No.
website, and they state it bold-faced
Right.
on there. But I did meet a gentleman off of Millionaire
Mm-hmm.
Match, and that didn't. He was a great guy, but it didn't go anywhere because I'm a time digger, and so I like to spend copious amounts of time with someone in order to get to know
okay.
them. And he
Yep.
was like you, very busy with work and always traveling. So it was hard for us to spend the time to get to know each other. So that was what happened with that one. But that was not any type of arrangement whatsoever. So yeah, vanilla dating, I guess you would call it that. So yeah, I've dated quite a few off of Tinder and Facebook dating. And
You actually met somebody on
No.
Facebook dating?
yeah,
I have it.
I actually met a guy off of Facebook dating who was when I was in my small town and he was in another small town 2 hours away,
Mm-hmm.
and we dated for like 4 months.
Really?
Yeah, but only on the weekends because
Yeah.
we had day jobs during the week.
Now, did you feel like that one put more pressure on being a relationship very quickly?
Well, I don't know about quickly, but I've always wanted a relationship.
So that didn't bother you?
It didn't bother me at all. I've never been that girl that just wants to go on a date and get money.
No, I know that, but girls complain all the time that men move way too quickly.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they want to pressure you into a relationship way too quickly. Now, granted, it could be on both sides,
I found
but
that on both sides.
Yeah.
I've found on both sides, I've found people who are practical and want to gradually get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've found guys who immediately, like the first guy you went out with, who's like, okay, I found my person. Day one,
yeah.
delete everything.
See, that's
We're gonna live happily ever after. And that was like Scorpio.
I was gonna say you experienced with that Scorpio, and
yeah.
it was terrible.
Oh, it was awful. But, Trucker and I knew
Trucker's been a lot slower.
he's, he has and he hasn't. He's funny because
Well, he was very patient
he
with
had
you knowing you were dating. I mean, sorry.
Beep.
Podcast Fanboy.
Yeah, I can just edit that out. He moved faster than I did.
Trucker?
Yeah. He, right away, when he started this whole sugar dating thing, he knew right away that it wasn't for him and that he was looking for his person. And he was dating several women there for a while. And I honestly didn't start spending a lot of time with him until right before I went to Europe. I was with him for probably about 4 or 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
He helped me pack for Europe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, but was he jealous that he knew everything that was happening? Because he knew you were going to Europe with someone else? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was trying not to be jealous, and he was seeing a couple of other girls also.
And he sowed some wild oats while she was gone.
Yeah. But
okay.
he was getting very attached to me very quickly. And in fact, it's funny because he always called me baby number one. And I was the only one on allowance. Everyone else was just PPM.
Okay.
And he was getting kind of to the point where he would never have asked me not to go to Europe, but he half hoped that my feelings, because we were a couple months in, but had just really started spending a lot of time together, half hoped I wouldn't go. But I was adamantly protecting my heart because I was so looking forward to that trip. And I knew I was going to have a fantastic time with Podcast Fanboy. And I was fully committed to it. There's no way I would have backed out of that. And
You'd been talking about it for months.
oh gosh, yes. It was the trip of a lifetime. I will always
And you-
think of that as the trip of a lifetime.
You met his family and
Yeah.
people close to him, right?
did.
Too? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it was good. It was really
Yeah.
good.
Sounds
Yeah.
like it. And but okay, so would you give up this whole lifestyle if you found true love? Or
Oh,
do you
in
think
a
that's
heartbeat,
it?
she would.
Yeah, you think that's in the cards for you? What do you think? Like, you want to get married? What do you want to do? I'm curious.
I have given up the lifestyle.
Yeah, she deleted
Yeah.
her account.
I deleted every single dating site, app, etc. that I was on, and I'm 100% committed to seeing where this goes with my trucker. So, I mean,
I might have to get a new co-host.
Oh, look at that.
I'm wearing
She's got a beautiful ring.
Oh, it is.
I'm
It's
wearing
gorgeous.
a
Yeah.
promise ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not rushing it. We have talked about if we're still together in a year, then let's talk about making it permanent. But I've been married 3 times, and I don't think a piece of paper, a marriage certificate, is necessarily the answer. If
Yeah.
you find your person, just be with your person. So I don't know that I need to ever get married again. But if I discover that he is 100% unequivocally my person, then I would marry him.
Yeah. We all
That's
love
awesome.
Trucker too. Oh my God. So
He's such a good person.
yeah, it was we've talked about it many times, but one of her very first dates was a double date with me and Alejandra and Trucker, and we didn't know what to think of him. He was a nice guy, but we just didn't know we couldn't see the dynamic, right? And then
Poor guy was
just a
sort of
couple-
ambushed.
a couple weeks later, I got a 12-person suite for the Taylor Swift concert, and he came. Oh my God, he got so blitzed. We have some of the best. we have
had
some of the
fun.
best photos and videos from that concert. Because in the suite, we had all the alcohol you could drink and different kinds of alcohol, all the food you could eat. And the concert was 3 hours and 15 minutes just on
Wow.
Taylor Swift's part.
And we
So-
had rented a big van, so
Yeah, we rented a big
had a
van.
designated driver.
So, yeah,
we all just
Do
got-
whatever you want.
Yeah.
We all got
Yeah.
plastered. Oh, that was
He
so
doesn't even
fun.
remember half the concert, I don't think.
Wow.
But he had like this perma grin on his face during the thing. And of course, Lilly looked amazing. The whole crew that went with us looked amazing because, they're dressed to the hilt. And
Of course.
and-
Of course.
so
yeah.
after that concert and after seeing him there, I kind of knew he was going to stick around because I could tell that was the most fun he's had in a long time.
Well, his last person that he dated was very much a homebody, and he's very outgoing. He loves travel. He loves adventure, and he decided this go round he was going to make sure that he found someone that liked the same things, and you
guys do a lot of things.
We do.
Yeah, he's
very compatible.
Anytime I say, "Hey, let's go to a concert," he's game. We went and saw Nickelback, a few weeks ago with him, and it was a lot of fun. And
I mean, we've been to medieval times. We've been to comedy clubs.
He's always game for whatever.
We're always doing something. Taking little trips to San Diego, Sedona. Yeah, we're just living our best life. It's so nice being this age. And having our children are grown and gone and can pretty much fend for themselves. So we can actually focus on ourselves and each other. And it's been wonderful.
That all just like totally gave me goosebumps. I still have them like right here. That kind of like sums up for the most part. There's good, there's bad in any like seeking arrangement type of situation. But like, I think most people they come to the table for good reasons. They've tried everything. They've been married. They've been divorced. They've tried traditional dating. They've tried so many things. And they're just here because they want to live their best life. They want to find that person. And like with me, I've given so much in my relationships, in my 2 marriages, I was like a stay-at-home mom. I had little kids. I stayed home. I always had like 3 side hustles going on. I've worked since I was 14, and I've given, I feel truly like I've been like a really good partner, but I haven't always gotten exactly back what I've put in. And so when you come with your expectations are very clear, there's not as much game playing on seeking and stuff. Like it's not about that. And that's kind of like why I'm there, I think. And it's nice the financial, like being taken care of, whatever, like that's important. It is important. But it's not the most important thing, but it's nice to have that when like I said,
money cannot buy a connection, but it just it is nice that you can kind of weed through, look through what you want. And it's nice that if you do find what you want, that there is some stability there, some financial stability.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah,
so, I've settled so much in the past that I absolutely was not going to settle. And I've been in relationships and I've always been a huge giver. And it seems like I always end up with the people who give a little but really take a lot and kind of have sucked me dry. And Trucker's not that way. He is every bit as much, if not more, of a giver than I am. And I didn't think that was possible. So it's been great.
It is possible. It's possible in this kind of like scenario, I think. Like I've never had better dates than I've had since I joined the website. And I've never had like people who were as giving. I've started businesses for people before. I've had people max out my credit cards, things like that. That's probably not going to happen with anyone I meet from seeking arrangement. But it's nice to, it's nice to come to the table with the same thing. Yeah.
How many episodes have you listened to out of the 100 and something?
5 or 6.
5 or 6?
I've binged, a few, but I need to listen to more.
Yeah, every episode we do repeat things a lot, but repetition sometimes will hammer it home. But there's so many good nuggets to hear from other people that we've interviewed throughout the couple years, and the sugar daddies, the sugar babies, the relationship coaches, all the different people we've brought on, all bring something very valuable to this style of dating. So. Yeah, I encourage you to binge, listen some more. That'll help our ratings too.
I did subscribe. I'm a subscriber.
Oh, yeah.
I follow you guys on social media,
Great.
all of that.
Yeah.
Everyone else should too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Katy, are you going to come to our party? You're invited.
Am I invited?
You're
I'll
invited.
fill out the thing. I would love to come. That would be
Yes.
great.
It's
Yes.
Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
So
Well, Thanksgiving is always weird for me. My kids always go with their dad because his
Mhm.
family does a big thing, and I'm always pretty much by myself. It's
Oh,
like my saddest
perfect.
holiday.
You need to come to Arizona. The weather here is perfect. It's going to be an amazing weekend. It's so festive. The Christmas stuff will be out, and the concerts. I mean, I've seen these people in concert, and it is so energetic, upbeat, fun, and then our suite. Again, we're getting a 22-person suite. Podcast Fanboy is going to be there. He's going to be a big part of it.
and you're our homegirl now, so
Yeah.
Yes.
you don't even have to fill out the application.
Okay.
Right. You just-
I would love to come. That
I'm
would be
making
great.
an executive decision.
Yeah. If
You're
you want to
in.
come, we'll save you a spot.
I would love it. I think that would be the best way to spend Thanksgiving weekend.
That
Yes.
sounds like fun to me. All right. Well, we have run long on this episode.
Yes.
There's no way I was cutting this off, though.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
No.
I talk a lot,
Hey,
and I probably.
The great thing is we can run it for as long as we want. There's no rules.
It's true. It's your show.
It's
You
my
can
show.
do whatever you want.
It's my show. It's a Lilly show.
Yep.
We do what we want.
It's a family affair.
But we're going to have to ever come back on because we need
Yeah.
updates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. After Labor Day weekend,
Hmm.
see what Podcast Fanboy says.
See, and that's what
I
happens.
don't know. He might hate me. We don't
No.
know.
No.
Nobody could hate you.
But that's what happens is I get messages from people and they start getting invested in the lives of our guests. And now you've got a situation where people want to know the outcome or
Yeah.
the ongoing update of how that situation is going.
My prediction is you guys are really going to hit it off.
You think?
Judging from his personality and her personality,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have the best time. Yeah.
Well, good.
You'll really have a lot in common and you'll really enjoy your time together.
I feel like we will too. It's like this weird thing. I mean, it just honestly, people say this, but like I think we feel like we've known each other forever. It's weird. It's so weird.
Yeah,
Like,
sometimes that happens.
it's crazy. Yeah.
I've gone
So,
on,
yep.
I can countless first meet and greets, but there's still a couple, and one of them was with the 2.5-year relationship that I was telling you about. I bought her the website name. I still remember our first date, and it was just like we meshed so well on our very first meeting, and it was like we'd known each other for such a long time, and it felt very natural and easy and fun, and that's how a relationship should feel.
Totally.
Yeah, it shouldn't be
It
a
is,
struggle.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll update you guys.
See?
Thank you so much, though,
see?
you guys, for having me on again.
Siamese twins.
Yeah.
I was listening to some of the last couple of episodes I was editing. I'm like, good God, we finish each other's sentences.
Isn't that funny?
Besties.
All right. Well, we would sure love to hear your crazy sugar dating stories. So go to our website, secretsofasugardaddy.com. And you can also get a hold of us instantly on Instagram at Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Lily, have you seen the latest messages we're getting? They're pretty crazy, aren't they?
Yeah.
A lot of
We're-
interesting scenarios.
Gosh, and we have people lining up to be on our show.
Right.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it is great.
Like people are asking us, can they be on the show?
We've got one girl who wrote us in, and she has an 86-year-old sugar daddy.
How old is she?
Did it say in there
I
how
think
old
she was in her 30s.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
And she says, anyway, we're going to bring her on the show and let
We
her
have
explain
to
the
get
whole
her
thing.
on
Yeah.
because it's crazy.
Yeah, she wrote me a very long message on Instagram, and Lily and I both read those. So that's a great way to get a hold of us. And don't forget to go register for our party that we were just talking about. We still have spots available.
One slot's taken.
Yeah.
You guys better get after it.
Right. All right. Lily, thanks as always.
You're welcome.
Katie, until next time.
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of your vacation.
I will.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.